Hey everybody, how you guys doing? Alright, so this is actually coming out of Britain, but I'm certain it's more popular among the entire United Kingdom. But basically, these guys are putting in a lot of money into these refugees, and they're getting nothing but violence and hatred back. So Britain basically through Cameron, I believe his name is. Yep, Prime Minister David Cameron. Cameron. Basically has basically said that there's 100,000 people a year that they're adding to their country in tier 2 visas, and he basically wants them to make at least 35,000 British pounds a year, which is $50,000 a year, or basically get out. There's skilled work visas, skilled work trades, everything else. They're putting all this massive amount of money, and basically 6 years later, it's more than 3 times that number, and these guys aren't doing basically anything. So the estimates of the GDP lost 181 million pounds, equivalent of 262 million, to 761 million pounds, equivalent to $1.1 billion. Basically a massive blow, basically taking in all these refugees, and basically, and Britain's now saying through Cameron, if you guys can't make up the debt that you're putting on this community, putting on this country, leave. There's programs in place. You need to start doing this now. And there's even a petition, Stop 35K, to try to change the government's mind. But this is also a UK issue. It's basically said right here. Basically when they come in here, they need work visas and everything else, and I don't know the statistics, folks, but if you come into a country as a debt, you should do your part to silence the debt as much as possible. Well, how are you supposed to? By picking up something that makes it to where you can make a positive. And so they got Unison and everybody else involved in this. And it's, a public works to education, healthcare, transport program. And it's just bad. And Cameron just wants these guys out. He's basically saying, if you can't do this, if you can't do that, leave. And I'll show you this right here. It's nothing secret. So, I think this is kind of serious. If your entire group is coming over from a war zone, one, why aren't you there fighting the opposition? To me, that's all the banker stuff right then and there. And we know it is, but, why else would people who would be otherwise fighting armed conflicts, leaving a war zone, leaving their families, they're old, they're sick, they're poor, they're women and their children, to come to other countries basically to start trouble and become detained. Now, I know there's actual people that are actually working, and you know what? It's sad that those people aren't represented. But this is the United Kingdom's policy now. There's enough programs now, enough visas and everything. Basically, if you come here as a refugee, you are to make $50,000 a year or leave. If you can't do that in 2 or 3 years, coming over from that country, then, how the hell did you get here in the first place? That's one thing I think, folks. I really believe somebody needs to look at how these guys are getting over here. Because I think the more and more we look into that, we're going to find out that these government agencies are sponsoring millions of people to come over here, whether it be the banks or some other situation. and they're basically floating these guys to 1,500 to come over here, or whatever it is. Then they come over here, and then it's just problem after problem after problem. Well, that's not good for anybody. It's no good for nobody. So I think that's what we would do. I think we need to shut down those programs that are telling these guys, hey, you can leave. Wait. The problem's ISIS. The problem is this. The problem is that. You need to fight. Whether it be politically, whether it be, activist-wise, whether it be any number of things. Peaceful or non-peaceful. Take your country back, I mean, I think we're starting to win the information war here in the United States, and we're starting to actually see that in Congress and stuff, people are saying that's constitutional, that's off subject, next subject, please, and various other things, and people are starting to hear things as they actually are, where it should be. So I think this is a fantastic policy. I think the idea of 50,000 a year is a bit strong, but I don't think it's unreasonable to say that by year 3 you should be doing this. The thing is that they should be given the training as they're coming over here, and they should have a job while on the ground. Of course, that also is bad because that means it takes a job from the people that are in country who are the original natives of that country. So that basically puts a Native American versus settler approach on it. So, bad versus bad, which one's better? Well, send them back to their country to go fight the bankers over there, or go fight the banks. Go find Goldman Sachs that are sponsoring all these Syrian refugees, all these other groups thereof, and go arrest those guys. I guarantee you the same guys that are sponsoring the visas and the money for these guys to come over are sponsoring the ISIS guys to do what they're doing over there to get in the oil money and everything. Thanks.